Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about Stranger Things because honestly, I'm not over it. And I know oh, it's not that deep, it's that serious. Yes, it is. Okay, first of all, I got into it after the first season was out, so this my hyperfixation during COVID. This was like a pivotal time in my very short life, but anyways, let's get into it. So, we're going to start off with I do really love the costume designs. That was something that I consistently felt like they were doing a really good job in, and obviously no hate to the actors except for Noah Schnapp, but anyways, so location wise, I do really like Mike's house. I do like Joyce's house a little bit better just because it reminds me of my grandma's house, like her old house. Anyways, so character wise, I do feel like they did a really good job fleshing out Nancy. I can't believe that they gave a Jonathan and Steve moment, but that was all that we get with Mike and Will like because with Mike, it would have made him such a good character had he been gay. But no, he has to be the Duffer Brothers self insert. Because if he was gay, it would have been oh, that's why he's not a good boyfriend. That's why he's homophobic all of a sudden to Will when he's been constantly defending him up against everyone else. It makes everything make sense to the point where I was so fucking pissed because it's I know oh, it's a small town, whatever. Okay, they're all outcasts. A couple of them are gonna be queer. Let's be so for real right now. That's just what do you mean? What do you mean Mike is the Duffer Brothers self-insert? God, why? Why? Anyways, so Robin is my favorite character, and I do feel like it's really interesting how her coming out scene was literally perfect, and Will's was just so long and so intimate. It didn't make sense how everyone was there. Also, he doesn't know all of these people. He's not really friends with Max, they get along, but they're not they don't know each other really. You know. Anyways, so with um with Joyce, she was kind of getting on my nerves because in the first season, Jonathan is 16, right? And now that Will is 16, you're kind of seeing the favoritism and everything. God damn, Joyce really be getting on my nerves. What? Type shit. Anyways, so it does kind of it does make sense how she would feel that way, but it literally broke my heart. Anyways, so with Holly, I did really hate how much that she was involved. The actress did a really good job. I really did love all of her scenes, but it was kind of it doesn't we're already having such a hard time focusing on all of the characters that we do have. Why is it that we're adding in more characters? What's up with that? I don't understand. What do you mean we were already struggling having enough moments between everybody, and then we're just bringing in more people? Why the fuck would we do that? From a writing perspective, I don't. Okay, so with Dustin, I know that his his whole thing wasn't popular. Um yeah, he was an asshole, but I mean it does kind of make sense because this is the first thing that he's I mean, I feel like they could have played with Dustin a little bit better. it doesn't make sense the way that it was portrayed. Like, I know, like, he's rebelling, but I feel like to make it make a little bit more sense, we kind of needed to be, like, in his head a little bit more to understand it better, because from the outside perspective looking in, it does kind of look like he's making like some like crazy choices. And you have to remind yourself about what he went through with Eddie. So I feel like they could have done like some flashbacks to kind of like make it be like, oh, like it was like too, like I had to get myself there. You need to take me there. That's your job. Anyways, so with 11, I know her whole thing was kind of like training, which does make sense, but I really just wanted her to have something else that really defines her character, because with like her fashion choices, she doesn't really like, she is kind of wearing like the plaids again, which kind of reminds me of, like her dad and everything. So it's like, what's up with that? Like, I thought we just had this whole, like, big fucking thing about, like, how she's gotta, like, be herself and everything, but, like, I guess not. So I really, it just, like, it did break my heart that they were oh, she doesn't get to be with them. She's like the mystical entity of, like, she was never gonna end up with them at the end. Why the fuck is this entire story about her? Like, tell me. Like, I know, like, oh, it's about Will, it's about this, it's about that. 11 is Loki, like, the main character in the sense that a lot of the story, like, they can't fight the monsters without her. They need her. She's the main character. Everyone loves her. Everyone gets along with her. They're all friends with her. So, why in the flying fuck would they take that away from her? I wanted her to have a goddamn happy motherfucking ending, okay? What the fuck? Okay, so now we're going to get into how I wanted it to end. So, who should have died? I feel like should have been Ted, because they didn't check up on him. So, I thought that was kind of like what it was building towards, because we established that the mom is fine. We've established that Holly is fine and that Vecna is mad homophobic, because what do you mean Holly's just cooking cupcakes and Will was like in the motherfucking trenches? But like, I guess I don't understand why they wouldn't have been in the upside down. Like, it could be like a more like cutesy upside down, but I don't understand why they were at like just his regular house. I don't that. And also, like, if he likes it cold, what the fuck is with them being on the motherfucking sun? Like, what the fuck? Anyways, back. Okay. So, Murphy, I feel like he should have died with like this E4, like it gets like fucked up, like it goes off a little bit like wrong or something. Basically, like it goes off too early and Murphy's like a little bit too close to it. Um so Vecna obviously should have died, but I feel like he died in a really pussy way. Like, he wasn't what do you mean that's all it took? What do you mean that Dustin's bullies were harder on them than the actual fucking monster? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Disrespectfully, what do you mean? So I feel like they, for how much time they spent on the ending, it made no sense to me at all. I did not understand. Um, so with Jonathan, I feel like like Joy should have ended up losing him, because that would have been really like poetic. I know that's not what everybody wanted, but this is my YouTube video. Fuck yourself. Anyways, sorry. I'm mad. Like, cuz this has been like, I have been a fan of this shit for like 8 fucking years. Like, I'm I'm gonna be 21 this year. Like that is most of my life. Okay, so also not a popular pick, but we're gonna kill Steve too, cause whatever. Anyways, I know I love Steve too. I know there was like a whole TikTok trend. I know like the death threats and everything, but like fuck it, okay? I would have been really sad with Steve dying, but I feel like this after the scene with him and Dustin being besties again, it really felt like they were gonna be like, it's either Steve or Dustin, that dies in in the ending. So it's gonna be either of them or both. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, 11. She shouldn't have died. Um, because like that's my girl, first of all. And she wouldn't have done that to Hopper. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what would like no. She would have never have done that to Hopper. She wouldn't have. I don't believe you. I don't believe that this was a real ending. I don't get it. Like, after her dying, being a fake out the first time, it makes no fucking sense that she would have actually died. And it feels very convoluted. It feels very like, like, no. Like, oh, like, very, like, I don't know, like, really stupid. I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyways, so it makes it feel unfinished because with every season of the show, they lose 11 and then they get her back. So it's like, in the end, why wouldn't she have been there? You know, like why wasn't she there? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why she wasn't there. She should have been there. So, chapter 2. Wait, I didn't announce the characters as being a chapter. Whatever. I tried to organize this, but my ADHD be wildin', so I give up on that. The government. I wanted the government to either have backed off after they were like, okay, scratch that. I don't understand why Hopper isn't in jail for the next forever. I don't understand why Nancy isn't in jail for the next forever. What you could have done is Vecna could have killed off like the entire military because fuck it, why not? Also I don't understand why there wasn't like a reveal that like also like what do you mean, Will? Like what you Vecna is not just like you. He chose to be this way, okay? That was his own goddamn choice. That was he's not a little gay boy. Like he's not a sad little gay boy. He's just a horrible guy. And that's okay. It's okay to have your villain be a horrible guy. Like, that's fine. This isn't like the how can we make the villain not a horrible guy Olympics. Like, what? Anyways, so if my this is me crashing out more about Mike, but if Mike and Will weren't end up meant to end up together, why is it foreshadowed at every corner? Also, how is Will's happy ending just that he's gay? Like everybody else gets to be people and to do things, and like Will's just gay. Like he doesn't do something, he doesn't go to college, he doesn't get a job, he doesn't have like a dream that he works on. Like that is not a good enough ending. Like I am gay, but that is not my only thing. Like like I'm transgender. Anyways, so the reason why Mike makes sense as Will's happy ending is because that like what do you mean the writing was just bad? Like how was how is that like because of everything with like Will and Robin like talking together and like Mike giggling, like the boy thing like over Mike's head, like every like the like Will like the pink and the fuck? The blue and the yellow and everything. I don't. Okay, so I know this isn't what they meant to be the takeaway, but what I understood was Will doesn't need love. He just needs to love himself. Like, the ending is just that he's gay, and that's not an ending. Like, I hate the epilogue boyfriend girlfriend like as a trope because it changes the dynamic without giving me an explanation or a full ending or being able to see them together. And I know he's from a small town or whatever, but it doesn't make sense. They don't act like best friends, okay? They don't act like best friends. The writing is inconsistent. I'm losing my mind on how everybody else gets to be saved by love and Will doesn't. And how does Nancy and Jonathan and Robin and everyone else get to go after their dream, and Will's dream is just being like girly pop? And also, where the fuck is Vicky and Robin's happy ending? Did we only get to show couples together if they're straight for the ending? Because that's kind of what it's giving. Also, like, show don't tell. Like, everybody's endings that like weren't shown and they didn't feel real to me. It felt like a podcast talking about Stranger Things. It's just like, we've just been waiting for 8 years. This is what we've all been waiting for, and this is what we get. Take it back. Start over. Okay, so after I watched the ending, I started writing my own like short story about the ending. It's like not finished, so I'm probably just gonna like improv it at the end, but okay. So imagine that I am Mike. Lies. It was all lies. I was trapped in my own mind. We were still kids. I knew it, but I couldn't let him know that I knew that none of it was real. My writing career, everyone moving on with their lives like nothing happened. I didn't know if he could see through my eyes, but I knew that he was watching and that he had me. He gave me an ending he thought that I wanted, but I wanted to be free. Free of all the expectations. I had to get away from all this. I didn't fucking need glasses. God damn. I was trapped. Wait, sorry. Scratch that. I didn't know if he could see me through my eyes, but I knew that he was watching, that he had me. He gave me the ending. Fuck. Okay, I'm sorry. I lost my place. Give me a second. I took them off, and I could see the gray and everything now. It was all gray. I was not who I thought. My life wasn't what I thought that it was. The real question was how much of this was real and how much of it was just a hallucination. Did Will come out? We never got fucking milkshakes at the general store. There was something wrong. What if this had all been a hallucination? What if none of it was real? And if it wasn't real, were they all in here with me? Or were they all just secretly him? And why would they be secretly him? It didn't make any fucking sense. Why would he want me? After all, Will said he was over me. He said I wasn't what he wanted. And me and Jane, we'd broken up so long ago now. Sure, we were friends, but it was all different now. I'd finally realized that I loved her like a friend. After all this time, I felt so foolish for not noticing it earlier, but everything that took effort with her felt effortless with him. But what would my dad think? He knew deep down. I'm sure they all did, but would he reject me? Would he say that I was no good, that I wasn't worth anything, and maybe it was stupid to want his approval after everything, but fighting monsters didn't make parental approval any less important if it was all just pretend. Could I leave here? What would happen if I left Hawkins? What would happen if I left? Would it be an everlasting hallucination? Would I be free of him to get out of here somehow? Or maybe I couldn't leave it at all. The attack. What if my mom and Holly and my dad didn't make it? That's why the fight was so easy, because it was a farce. Maybe Jane wasn't dead at all. Maybe she hadn't sacrificed herself. But why leave Hawkins when I could just where she'd left me? What if that's the exit? What if that's the path to the exit? What if there is a way out? I ran into town. It was out of character for me. But I wasn't clever. I couldn't pretend that everything was okay anymore. I felt all the emotions bubbling. And what if that's why everyone moved on from Jane being around here so quickly? Because they couldn't miss her, because they weren't real. What if the typewriter was just a way to keep me complacent? That's why it was never finished, so that I couldn't go back there, so that it wouldn't make sense for me to be there. But how much of what I remembered was before I'd been stuck here, and how much of it was all just pretend, how much of it was just all him. I walked through the construction site. There was no one out this late in the darkness. I knew that there was something that felt off about me, something that felt wrong. I wasn't myself. But time was under his control. What if it had only been a few minutes and I was thrust right back into the fight? What if I was just surrounded by everyone that I loved and they were all waiting for me? I ducked under a tarp, and there it was. It wasn't the exit. It was Elle sacrificing herself all over again. It kept replaying like a broken record. I jumped into it. I had to find the door. I had to find the way out. It had to be here. I had to be free soon enough. I had to be close to the ending. I had to be able to get out of here. The door had to Elle herself. Her suit was gray instead of yellow. But how would I get her to turn into the door? I hugged her goodbye one last time, just in case I wouldn't make it back. I had to say goodbye. She had taught me so much about myself, and I'd never appreciated her the way that she needed to be appreciated. That's why she deserves so much more than me. When my yelling, I must have poked the yellow thingy on her swimsuit, and she crumbled in front of me. I could see the portal. I stepped through it, and I was back to the first time that the Mind Flayer grabbed Will in front of me. At the arcade, I was there. Something had to be off. Here it was. Something had to be weird. Something had to be gray instead of yellow, but maybe it was so dark. Maybe on the other side of the arcade. Oh, fucking duh. Mrs. Pac-Man was there. It was fucking gray. It seemed too easy, suspiciously easy. I hoped that I wasn't somehow walking deeper into its trap. I wanted to run away, to get far away. There was a part of me that wanted to leave Hawkins after this, to grab Will and to just get the fuck out of here. I just needed to be safe, to know that I was safe. I just needed to stay focused, otherwise I'd never see him again, or any of them. Any of the party would be forever separated. Maybe everything had just went so fucking bad that I've lost my mind, that I was crazy, that it wasn't Vecna, it was just me. It was just the only way out. I put a coin in and began playing it after I noticed that Vecna's score was 10 below the perfect score. If I got a perfect score, maybe I could leave. And maybe I wasn't the best with Pac-Man, but it couldn't be that hard. Couldn't be that fucking difficult. It had to be easy, didn't it? Shouldn't it be? I needed to make it home. Everything would be fine if I just got out of here. I had to believe that it was real, that I had a chance. Otherwise, I'd just psych myself out, and a few hours later, sure enough, I'd had it. And Mrs. Pac-Man turned into a door, and I could see through Dimension X. Through the portal, I could see that it was real. It was all really there. And I saw Will. He was holding my hand. I hoped that I could run fast enough that that this was really the portal. I had to get out, didn't I? I ran out as fast as I could, which admittedly wasn't that fast. I might have had a better chance just jogging because of how out of breath I was. Turns out being a dungeon master doesn't require that much fucking exercise. Note to self, next time there's an interdimensional bad guy, I should probably train a little more. I made it through the portal and I was on the ground, and everyone in Squawk was gathered around me. How long was I out for? Will, just a few minutes. I'm glad you're okay, though. Will leaned in and kissed me, like a peck, like a little kiss. A swarm of Demobats entered just as Lucas opened the door for Max. They stepped out for just a minute. It all felt so surreal. Reality. Oh, fuck. I didn't have anything. Will used his powers to make them turn right around and go out through the door. Why the fuck didn't I have a weapon? God damn it. He got more powerful, though. He could protect me. Guys, what's the plan? Also, what the fuck has been going on? Because I don't remember the difference between reality and the thing. I was in there for so long. It was weird. I was an author, like a successful one. And Will got AIDS, and Mrs. Byers had the same ring that Jonathan was gonna give to Nancy. It was all fucking horrible. I feel old now. Vecna's trying to take over the world, and we're all having a hard time making a plan since we couldn't write anything down. We wouldn't want it to get left behind.